Hey y'all, welcome. It's Timmy here with Couture, and it's time for our Crafting at 8. And I have a brand new project for you today, and one that I'm really excited to share with you because I've been dying to try this design that we're going to be using on our canvas pennants. And now we're going to do that. Now let me show you a little bit about what I'm expecting to show you here. And we're actually going to recreate exactly what's on the front cover here of our catalog. This is our spring summer catalog collection here from Couture. And it's these darling little seed packets that we're going to use. But instead of putting the seed packets on paper, which we absolutely could do, and they're super cute, and hanging them like this right from a mantle, we're actually going to put them on our pennants. And these are canvas pennants that you can get in my chalk shop. They come in two sizes. We've got our smaller 5x7, and then there's a larger 9x12. And you can see this one I have already done up, but I wanted you to see both sizes. So wanted to share that with you so that you could see it. And oops, just want to make sure that we're indeed going live here. With Facebook being the way it's been lately, things are a little crazy, and we're never really quite sure if we're going to actually be going live or not. Looks like all is well, which is great. I'm just going to take a minute here and share this over into my VIP group, as I usually do when we start. If you're watching, I would love it if you would use one of the hashtags that you see there at the top. If you've spread the chalk love, in other words, this video, put hashtag sprinkled in the comments. If you're new and you've never seen this before and haven't been to my page, I'd love it if you'd use the hashtag new and let me know that. And of course, if you're kind of interested in finding out more about how you can do this too, just go ahead and use the hashtag info. And that is how we will be able to communicate a little bit here together today. Now, I do have my comments here posting, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to see you come in, and I'll be able to chat with you a little bit as we're working on our project. But I hope that you'll enjoy this one as much as I'm gonna, I think, enjoy doing it with you. So let me just get our setup here all set, and I think I'm gonna move me over here into the corner. And then there we go. So now we have our workspace here all set. We're going to put this aside, but again, just wanted you to know these are the two different size pennants that we have. And right now, these are on sale. An excellent sale going on right now for surfaces. Both for all customers. We've gotten some reduced prices on some of our most exciting surfaces, pennants being one of them. Also our reclaimed drawer front and our burlap surfaces, and I'll tell you all about those in the coming days. But these are an incredibly low price. So you definitely want to go check that out in my shop, and you can grab these if you're interested. It does come with the pennant, canvas pennant, and it also comes with this little wooden dowel and some twine. So that is what that is. And as I said, we're going to create two pennants tonight. And I think I might even grab one of my little wood tags to be able to show you how versatile this transfer is that we're going to be using. Today, I just feel like, you know what, it is a great day to be planting some flowers. I don't know about you, but there is a saying that was made famous by Audrey Hepburn, and it's actually one of the transfers that we have in our catalog right now. And it says, to plant a garden is to believe in tomorrow. And every time I see that now, because I have it up on my wall in my my living room, I'm reminded about how important that message is more than ever today. And tomorrow is coming. It's going to be better than where we are today. And planting a garden is definitely a way of speaking to the promise of what's to come, right? So I know I have quite a few of you that are lovers of flowers. I'm hoping you're going to love these seed packets. So these are actually several different seed packet options. There's actually the bird's eye, the zinnia, the dahlia, and then we have Celine and allium, which is one of my favorites. I think that's all of them. Oh, wait, and this one. I can't even say that. If somebody's here watching and can say that, that would be great to tell me how I actually pronounce that. And there is a background for the packet if you need it. We're not going to use the background today. We don't need it. Then there is this first layer. And then there is a second layer that's going to bring some nice color and pop to our design. So I think I'm going to start with the dahlia just because I think it's so pretty. And we're going to start with the first option. And one of the cool things about these transfers is if you look really closely at the top of these transfers, they have these little marks here at the top. They're called registration marks. And the reason why we have those registration marks is so that we'll know how to line up the second transfer that's overlapping. So everything will line up just perfect. Now, when you're working on a chalkboard surface, no worries about chalking those little registration marks. But when you're not and you're working on cloth and we're using ink, we don't want to be able to get ink on those registration marks. So I have a little trick here to show you about how you can use the ink and still take advantage of those registration marks, but just not have it come through. So what I'm doing is I'm taking just a small piece of our placement tape here and putting it where that registration mark is. So that's going to allow me to be able to, I'm going to press those down. It's going to be allowing me to be able to chalk on the placement tape, or ink in this case, and not worry about it getting on my canvas, because I don't want that registration mark permanently. I just want it to be able to use it to line things up. So I still am crooked here, so I'm always better when I stand up when I'm trying to put something down. So let me just bring this a little closer to me. That will usually help as well, and I can line this up hopefully a little bit better than I did the first time. Hey, I see Sandra's with us. Welcome, Sandra. Nice to have you. And you'll know also which piece goes with which piece because they're each lettered and numbered. So this is C1, and so the C2 is going to be the one that we're going to put on top of this one. And again, I'm just looking at I think I'm still crooked, people. I think I'm just crooked today. So no worries if you're crooked. As you can see, you can simply just pick it up and move it until you get it just right. That seems a little bit better. And I think our pieces of tape here are still secure. Hey, Cheryl, welcome. Great to have you. So we're working on some ink, so you'll like that because I know you're getting ready to work on your vintage truck and you're going to be planning to use some ink. So that's cool. I'm glad you're here. I think since this is a two-toned colored flower, I want to use a little bit of green here for the stem and a little bit up here, which is green. And then my flower, I think I'm going to use our coral. Oh, good. I'm glad you're coloring your picture from last night. Yes, so we were talking about that cool technique together, and that's awesome. And I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to get really fancy here and do this in a different outline color. Let's see. Sure, why not, right? Let me grab one more color from my ink bucket. And this time I think I'm going to grab some Storm just to have kind of an outline here. So that means I'm going to need a few different squeegees. So Kelly, I use the tape because these have registration marks and that will help me line up the second transfer that's going to go on top of this. And because I don't want to have ink where this registration mark is, I actually, to the canvas, I want to actually have it on the tape. So the tape will just help me to make sure that I can preserve those registration marks for lining things up, but I won't actually get ink on the canvas where I don't want it. So does that make sense? All right, so I'm going to grab out a few tools here from my little tool holder, and I'm going to try to find some of my smaller squeegee pieces. Now sometimes I take one of our larger squeegees and I cut them up into smaller pieces. We also do have a mini squeegee, and we have this awesome multi-tool, which is a squeegee as well. And all of those are really useful. But as many little pieces, I think, as I can have, the better. So I'm going to just grab a few small pieces out that we'll be able to play with and change up colors with. I always have my handy dandy Clorox wipes here nearby as well, because I can clean up with that pretty easily. I'm going to put that other canvas aside just so that I don't make a big mess. And I think the colors that we're going to initially work with for this design are green, which, by the way, you see this little tiny guy? This was when we first introduced our inks a long time ago. We no longer make them in this small size. They're all in the 3-ounce jars, just like our chalk paste. If you haven't watched me use ink before, our inks are, as you see here, they say permanent inks. And that means that once you put them down on fabric and you heat set them with an iron, then they will become permanent and washable. So if you're working on fabric, a pillow, or an apron or a t-shirt or a sweatshirt or anything that you want to be able to wash, using our inks is your best bet, because once you heat set it, it's going to be permanent, and then you can wash it. Now, you don't really want to use inks on our chalkboard surfaces. Those really, you want to be able to use our chalk. But if you want your chalk surfaces to be permanent, you can spray them with an acrylic spray so that they'll stay put. But quite honestly, I almost never do that unless my chalked item is going to go outside. Like we did a porch sign, and I wanted my porch sign to go outside. So in that case, I did seal it with some acrylic spray. So I just want to put a little bit of green here where these leaves are. And there's not too much. Most of it really is flower. So I'm just using my multi-tool here, just dipping a little bit in and trying to make sure that I can see where those... Barbara, welcome. Thank you for sharing. Love all that sprinkling. Sprinkling of the chalk love helps to get the word out about how much fun it is to create with Couture. So I love that. Thank you. Thank you for your support. And so that is kind of the green area. Don't need a whole lot, as you can see. Just a little bit goes a long way. I'm going to put that even off to the side. And you know what? I'm loving this tool. So just to make things easy, I'm going to just wash it up and now use it for the gray areas that we're going to do the outline and the word Dahlia. I know the multi-tool is really awesome. It's great for stirring up your chalk paste or ink containers, and it's also really great for kind of smaller areas and more detailed work. So I really like it for those reasons. And we're just putting the chalk paste on around the outside. Now, I've done this before on our board and base, and I love doing it on the board and base. As you know, when you're working with our chalks, you do need to move a little bit more quickly than you would when you are working with inks, because the chalk paste is drying really. Once it hits air, it's going to dry. So if you enjoy taking your time a bit more, you might really like these inks because they give you a little bit more wiggle room. So you can kind of take your time and get things exactly where you want them. No hurrying or rushing needed, which is great. And this is a pretty detailed design here, so I'm trying to get the gray areas where I want them. Looks like I got a little green in there, but again, not too worried about that. I loved it on the chalkboard surface, though, I have to say, because it kind of gave it a nice little rustic-y look, and I liked that a lot. So I was thinking I was going to do the dahlia in gray. Maybe I still will. Let's do that. We'll use the line here. And then the words of our seed packet. So we get a nice amount of control with this multi-tool, which is kind of nice. Easy to do. And what's fun is you can string a bunch of these pennants together and make a banner and hang it from wherever you'd like. Maybe hanging it on a board that you are looking to decorate, or your mantle, or off a cabinet area. Really, you can just put it anywhere you'd like. Now, this next area is pretty big, so I don't mind kind of going to a bigger squeegee. Our little mini squeegee probably will be perfect for this. And I love this bright coral. And just wait when we add the top layer over this with a different color that's coordinating. It's really going to pop. I think we're really going to like it. And you know what? That's what's really cool about these. Our inks come, like our chalk paste, in lots of different colors. So you can use the colors that suit you best. If you like more monochromatic colors, great, go for it. If you like bright colors, then go for those. It really is whatever makes you happy. Now, flowers always make me happy. My husband knows that. He is always kind and brings me some flowers. He brought me some just the other day, and they're downstairs with part of my Easter display. But there's nothing quite like flowers to brighten your day. Do you guys like flowers as well? What are your favorite flowers? With spring coming up, there's so many awesome choices, right, to choose from when it comes to flowers. I have to say, I am a lover of lilacs. Lilacs and peonies. Those are probably my two favorite flowers out there. Oh, you know what? And I told you I was going to use these registration marks to help me know where to line up. I don't know if this is going to be dark enough. So I'm going to use the green, because the green is going to make it a little bit easier for me to see these registration marks on that tape. There you go. So see what I mean? I don't want those registration marks on my design, on my canvas. I just want to leave them here on the registration mark so that I can use that. Nice. I think that's great. Now, when you're working on canvas, you know, it's definitely fabric. It soaks up. You can see that. I'm going to just put this right inside my little water bath that I have nearby. And so you can see we've got our first layer started here. And those registration marks are set here so that I'm ready. When we're ready, we can put the next layer down. So I'm going to let this one dry. Lilacs and pussy willows remind you of your mom. Oh, I know lilacs remind me of my mom as well. Now, I think I saw, Cheryl, that your mom is no longer with us. Is that right? My mom, thankfully, is still with us. She's just far away. She's all the way in Florida. So I don't get to see her as much, but I did get a chance to chat with her today, which was wonderful. You know what? I think I'm going to use the zinnias on this other one. And notice that when we use these, you're not seeing me fuzz them. And that's because there's no need to fuzz when we're working on fabric, because the fabric is already fuzzy, right? We're not going to have to worry about stretching or transfer when we pull this up. Oh, I'm so sorry, Cheryl. She's been on a long time. What is it about lilacs and moms, though? When I got married, I wanted lilacs and peonies in my bridal bouquet. But unfortunately, I got married in not unfortunately, but I got married in November. So there was no chance of seeing either of those things in my wedding bouquet because they were totally off season. Now, if it was today, maybe you could do that because these days, right, we can almost do anything with flowers, right? You can get pretty much anything any time of year. But not then. That was too long ago for me, I think. Oh, it's been 12 years since you've been without your mom. That's a long time. It's a long, long time. I'm so sorry that she's no longer with us. Okay, my dear. We're going for zinnias next. What do you think? So with these zinnias, I think we're going to do a couple of different colors. Because you know what? It's spring and we can, right? Why not? Oh, look at this one. This one looks like we got part of the lid still on here, so I'm going to pull that up and move that out of the way. So this is peony, so look at those two colors. Aren't they beautiful together? And then I'm going to grab my other favorite color here, which is the currant jam. I think those three together are really going to be pretty. And then again, we'll use the gray to go around the outside, just kind of to bring some consistency between the two that we are creating. Oh, hey, Mr. Steve popped in. I wonder if he's still with us or he popped out. He's always really fast. Sometimes I see him and he's in and then he's out. So let's see if he stays in and talks to us today. I don't think we're going to get him to come and ink. I don't know that I've ever had him ink with me. He came in and chalked, recently. If you guys were watching, you were in for a treat because my husband actually did some chalking on my lives, which I was really proud of him about. So he did a great job. He is one of my biggest fans. He comes and helps me out at my vendor events. Of course, right now there are no vendor events going on. So he was great to come in and actually hang out with me during one of my lives and do a little chalking demo for those of my friends that were watching. So very cool, right? And we're doing this gray. This is the Storm. So if you're curious about what color ink this is, that we come in all sorts of colors. Even a couple of shimmer colors are available in the inks. So if you like a little bit of the shimmer, and as a matter of fact, that larger pennant that I showed you earlier was done with our gold shimmer. So you can see that that was how that looked. All right, so I've just cleaned up my squeegee there. I think I'm done with the gray, but I'm going to put it off to the side just in case. Oh, you know what? I'm going to grab this green, and we'll use the green to do our stems. And again, just how easy it is to work with this multi-tool when we've got such detail, right? Easy peasy. Easy peasy. So there we go. We've got that. I'm going to put that off to the side. I'm going to clean this just in case. So we heard from Cheryl about her favorite flowers. Does anybody else have a favorite flower they want to tell us about? I got to decide which colors we're going to go where. So let's do this smaller zinnia with the currant jam. Oh, and I noticed there was a little stem there that we might still want to add some ink to. Now, have you all tested out this ink before? Are you new to inks? Has anybody tried it? It's really fun. I think in some ways it's a little more relaxing to use than our chalks because, again, you don't have to worry about it drying as quickly as our chalks do. So it's just a little bit more relaxed. I'm going to use this same squeegee that we used earlier for our coral. And of course, you know, I've been changing out my colors a lot lately, trying some new colors. Used a lot of blues recently, but I have to confess that coral probably is still one of my all-time favorite chalk couture colors, both in the paste and the ink. And I think you can see why, because it's just so vibrant. reminds me of spring. It brings total happiness when I think about it. All right, and then this is the peony, which is kind of a pretty standard bright pink. So we're going to add that in. Now, in order to get this ink to be permanent, we'll have to wait till it dries, or at least it's still tacky to the touch. And that can usually take about 20 minutes or so. So you want to wait at least that long till it's tacky to the touch, and then you can go ahead and iron it with an iron, or you can use a heat press if you have one of those. Just make sure that you have a piece of parchment paper to be able to, oh, and the same thing, I want to use my registration marks here to mark where my next area is going to go. And we put that little piece of tape down there so we don't have to worry about it bleeding through. So there we go. We've got that set. Let's put that off to the side, and then we're going to pull this guy up. And look at that. Look at those cuties. I like that. What do you guys think about that one? So we've got our flowering zinnia. I got it upside down here. Flowering zinnia. And so you got some nice detail there. And then we're going to have some more detail when we add on the second layer. So let me take a peek at how this is. And it's still a little on the wet side. So just to hurry things along, I'm going to grab my heat tool and give this a little blow dry. Zinnia and dahlias. I always have a hard time saying dahlias. I don't know what it is about that word, but I always have a hard time. Yes, I know Sandra's been using our inks. I can't wait to show you what Sandra is doing with our inks. She is totally rocking it. Sandra is an incredible artist and does a lot of hand painting on glassware and other materials. I think I've seen mostly your glassware, Sandra. And she wanted to try to use our mini buffalo plaid on the bottom of her plates, and then she painted around the outside. So these beautiful glass plates that she created. And I can't wait to show you when she finishes them how awesome it came out. What color, Sandra, did you use of ink for that plate that you showed me with the Mini Buffalo Plaid? Was that the Marvelous? Can't remember. All right, so here we go with this second piece. Now, I'm just going to change our view here. I'm going to remove me for a minute so I can stand up and get this lined up. So these registration marks can definitely help with getting things lined up, or you can simply use your design. And in this case, what we're trying to do is overlap the area so that we're seeing mostly canvas and not the places that we inked. So see that? So that's going to give me a chance to have a big pop of color here. So we used our coral. So should we use this, the current jam, or do you think we should use this as our contrasting color? So would you go for the peony or would you go for the darker? I also have some yellow over here, by the way, which I don't know if I'm going to use or not. We'll give you a second to think about that. And while you're thinking about that, I am going to just give this a blast and see if you can tell me what you think would be a good coordinating color for this dahlia, for the dahlia. Should we go darker? Should we go lighter pink? Or should we do the yellow? What do you think? So hard sometimes to decide what's the best to do, right? All right, let's see. Who's still with us and watching and can give me some ideas about what you think we should do? Well, oh, the peony, Sandra says. Okay, so we want to go with the lighter pink, she thinks. I think that sounds like a good plan. And then I'm just going to get the second part of the zinnia transfer ready. Ugh. These are on my color sheets here. All right, and we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to put this one on so that we will be ready to line these guys up as well. Now this one's a little trickier. And that's why these registration marks are going to be so helpful. Still not super easy to see, but enough I think that we'll be able to get oh yeah, there we go. I can see, again, you want to see kind of more of the canvas through it, and this one's a little bit darker. So, all right, let's do the peony, and Sandra says yellow on one of the zinnias. Okay, I'm with you, girl. All right, so here we go. We've got our peony here. We're going to use that as our second color over the dahlia. And this one's easy, no detail work. We're just spreading the ink across the entire screen here. Now, the ink definitely does soak up on fabric, so you might find that you need to use a little bit heavier hand just to get a good coverage. No worries about that. Nope, I already had a squeegee. You got to use two though, I suppose. And then here we go. Ah, look at that. Oh, I can't wait to show it to you because I think it's going to be, look at that. Look at how that popped. Can you see the two-tone color with the peony on the top and the coral on the bottom? That really came out pretty. I love that one. And then we can just throw out these little guys. We don't need them anymore. Pretty, pretty, pretty. All right. Now we thought a little bit of yellow. Do we need some white, do you think, on the darker one, maybe? We have... I'm trying to see the color options. So we have our first one here. So which one should we do yellow? Yellow on coral, yellow on pink, or yellow on, I don't think on that one. I think we're going to do, let's do this guy here. And then let's do some yellow, as Sandra suggested, on the coral, right? And then maybe some white on the other one. I do have white, and I think white will be fun too, so we'll try some yellow. And again, you don't have to hurry, which is really awesome. Of course, it'd be nice if I didn't stick my hand in the one that we just finished, right? There we go. So we've got some yellow. And then let me grab my white over here. And this white is a little thick. It's almost finished. Maybe that's why. But that's all right. I think there's still plenty to use in here. And then we'll use the white. And we'll see what this guy looks like. Oh, he's definitely thick. He's kind of like marshmallowy. This one's been around for a while. As you can see, it's just about empty. All right, check this out. Yeah, nice. Just a little bit of a pop of color there. Might be harder to see on screen. And I'll lift it up here and see if we can get a... The dahlia definitely was much more vibrant because you had those two really bright colors. But there we go. There is our zinnia. What do you think? So we've got these two pretty pennants here that super easy to be able to put together. And we can do a whole bunch of them. As I mentioned, these little pennants here are on sale. They're a great deal. I want to say, oh gosh, I should probably look it up because on the top of my head, I want to say they're $2.99, and they might very well be. Great deal. So check them out on my website if you're interested in giving them a try. Same thing. This is the larger pennant, 9 by 12. And as you can see, this is the one that we use the shimmer ink on. And this was the gold. So we have gold, copper, and silver in the shimmers. So those are that. So you know what? I wanted to, while we are here, show you that these can also fit on these tags. Now you're probably thinking, Timmy, how are they going to fit? Well, believe it or not, I've seen them done and they're gorgeous. So I wanted to just do a quick one for you to show you that it can go on all sorts of surfaces. It can go on paper, it can go on canvas, it can obviously go on these cute wood tags of ours. You can totally decide where you want these to go, and they can be just about anywhere. So in this case, of course, we're using wood, so we do not want to use our inks. We're going to use, I want to figure out how I can get most of this on here, so I'm going to have to wiggle around a bit. There we go. That pretty much does it. Look at that. Everything but that tiny little corner. So we can get that on here. And we've got this gorgeous purple, you know, right? We were working with our purples a little bit yesterday. They would be perfect for these. We'll close up our inks just so that I don't stick my finger in it by accident, which I could definitely be prone to do. I think I just did. See that? Lisa, you just got this one? I know, it is so pretty. As a matter of fact, it's got another great part to it about, what does it say, Lisa? I can't remember. Something about happiness and flowers or planting flowers or something. And I haven't used that part of the transfer yet. So not only do you get all these seed packets on that transfer, but you also get a bunch of other things that you can use in conjunction with it. I don't know why my top here is a little crazy, but I'm going to just cover that for now and go back to it so I don't make a mess on myself. And we're going to put this little green guy away. All right, awesome. Got those inks out of my way so I don't make a mess on myself or my next project. And these guys are all set for now, so I'm going to put them off to the side, and let's just make this quick tag. And by the way, you all know, if you're watching, if you share the, oh, they would be cute on a valance. You're right. If you are so kind and you share some of the chalk love, you will get entered in, and I'm going to bet that there might be something fun from this project that might be headed your way. So I love it if you would share. I appreciate it when you do, and it's a great way to have an opportunity to win some goodies from me. So I'm just going to grab my stir sticks here, and then we can get to chalking. One more. And I think this time I'm going to pretty much keep it to these two purples. Now, this is the Wisteria. This is new, and you can grab it online. This is Orchid. This, unfortunately, is no longer around. This is an older, retired color. But you could definitely use some of our other colors combinations if you wanted, but I really thought this would be pretty to do here, so we're going to give it a whirl. I think I'm going to do the lighter colors around the outside. So again, this time we're using chalk, so we want to move a little bit more quickly than we did when we were playing with our ink, because we don't want this to dry before we pull off our transfer. Lisa, you were working on a project yourself earlier. What did you work on? I cannot recall what I was watching. What was I watching? My brain is brain dead since I was trying to remember to stay focused on what my project was going to be tonight. Oh, it says plant dreams, pull weeds, and grow a happy life. See, thank you. I just knew that someone else would be on top of that. You are absolutely right. That's exactly what it says. A beautiful saying. I was talking earlier about how much I really like the plant a garden. To plant a garden is to believe in tomorrow. And I think right now that is a great saying. And so is growing a happy life. So thank you for reminding me that that said that. I'm going to actually just use this light color for the stems. Just because. Why not? So here we go. We've added that. We're going to pull this up. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, well, I guess I'm doing the chalk and pull method. All right. You know, I'm having one of those moments here, people. I totally forgot that I want to do this part, and then we're going to use the darker color to make it pop in the middle. So let's get to that before I forget what I'm doing. I was in such a hurry to pull it off that I forgot to do this part. All right, so there we go. So the second one, the second layer is where we're going to add some extra color. Oh, Cheryl, you lost my sound, did you? You know what? And even just like that, it's beautiful. It's kind of simple. It's kind of rustic-y looking. You could totally leave it just like that if you want. Or you can add in a little darker color to kind of give it some pop. So I don't know, Cheryl, are you the only one that's lost sound, or has everybody lost my voice? Hope you haven't lost it. Oh, and I'm going a little bit longer than I usually do. So I'm going to wrap up here in just a minute. We'll add this last layer, and then we'll finish up. And you can see I totally didn't go straight on this one, but that's all right. No biggie. All right, and then this is the second part of this craziness that I almost forgot to do right. And these dry pretty fast on wood. Oh, good. I'm glad that you're good, Barbara. I know you're good. I'm going to have to kind of take a little bit of a guess here because I didn't have those little areas to help me out. There we go. Again, just want to see that white really is what we want. And I need one more. Oh, good, you're back. I'm glad you're back, Cheryl. It's Wednesday night here at the Pottery Ready house, which means it's Survivor night. We are big Survivor fans. So once I finish up with my live, we're going to go and catch a little bit of tonight's episode. It's the big merge. If you guys watch Survivor, you'll know what I mean. We'll see who gets booted off the island tonight. And there we go. So again, there's just a few pieces of darker color there to make it pop. And that's it. So super easy. Oh, I think I hear some down there. I think people are already watching Survivor without me, but that's all right because I'm here with all of you guys and I love it. Barbara, you're watching it now. Right? Don't tell me what's happening. But I hope you had fun and you enjoyed growing some flowers with me here tonight using our pennants and our little wood tags. If any of these things strike your fancy, of course, anytime you can go to my website and grab them. There are a lot of special deals going on, and this month is crazy. I'm happy to share them with you as I can. There are so many, I don't want to overwhelm you all at once. But for now, know that we have some extra special surfaces available, and you definitely want to go and check out those discounted prices. And I'll be posting information about them also in my Facebook page, so you'll be able to see those coming up as well. But until I see you next time, you guys have a wonderful night. Have a great day tomorrow, and I'll see you again at 8. Take care, guys. Thank you. Have a good one. Bye.